Hello, it's Matthew. Welcome to part 6 of our video series aimed at helping you troubleshoot problems with your modded GTA 5 game. To start, let me say there is good news and bad news. First, the bad news. The modded game environment can be overwhelming and incredibly complex for beginners. There are 1,000 things that can go wrong with your game. This can include your PC itself barely meeting minimum system requirements, your Windows configuration, folder permissions, your video drivers, and your GTA 5 game settings, particularly the graphics and visual ones. Most importantly are the mods themselves. These can be the tools, trainers, ENBs, missions, maps, add-ons, and other mods you install in your root folder, scripts folder, and mods folder, as well as the replacements you make to x64.rpf files, whether they be PEDs, vehicles, textures, or clothes. Now here is the scary part. Many mods are outdated or were poorly created in the first place, and mods can also be in conflict with other mods, and finally some mods just suck up too many of your PC's system resources to run properly, resulting in a crash. Often, the cause of your problems can be as trivial as not closing a tag properly, or some similar syntax error when you edit or add to an XML file. The good news? The good news is that everything can be fixed with patience, attention to detail, and following instructions and advice to the letter. If you skip steps or don't do things in a careful and systematic manner, you will fail. Just like that quote attributed to Einstein, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Or even worse, not doing the right things in the first place. As we saw in part 1 of this series, the first thing to do is ensure your game will run without any mods whatsoever. And with that, let's pass the mic back to Joanna.
Thanks, Matt, and hello to all our loyal viewers around the world. As Matt reminded us, we need to distinguish between a game that has problems even without any mods installed and a game which has one or many mods installed. Even one mod can break a system. In this video we won't go into details because that could take hours. Instead, we will give you an overview of what to look for. There are many tutorials and forums posts out there that will help you with specific mods. Having said that, we will add more videos addressing the more common issues with modding, causing your game to hang, crash, misfunction, or all of the above. Let's assume your game runs properly in plain vanilla mode, that is without any mods. The first thing is to check that you have all the basic files installed as we saw in part 1 of this series. That means dinput 8.dll, scripthook 5, and open4. You have added a trainer like menu or simple trainer, the scripthook 5.net files, and your heap and pack file mods. Make sure all your folders are correctly structured. A common mistake is that update.rpf is in the wrong folder, it needs to be in the update folder. Finally, verify you have a gameconfig.xml file and keep in mind you may need to experiment with other gameconfig mods until you find the best one for you. Our suggestion is to begin the troubleshooting process by disabling your mods folder. The concept is to proceed by elimination. If the problem goes away by disabling the mods folder, we have now narrowed it down a problem in the mods folder. If the problem persists, we can now target the root and scripts folder. Of course, a problem could potentially exist in all 3 folders, but by this process we will cover all the bases, all possibilities. So how do we disable our mods? Easily. All we need to do is rename the folder or move it. The better news is we don't need to make any changes to dlclist.xml. Just remember, while your trainer will still work, you won't be able to spawn any add-ons temporarily. That's it for this video. In the next video we will look at the root/installation folder issues and script folder issues.